Hello all, and welcome to the Eldar Sim Racing Porsche 911 RSR Championship. We are here, we've made it to the final round of the season, and it's all to play for still. Who would have thought it? We are down to just 2 drivers in the battle for the championship, but we'll see what happens, and I'll try and give you updates throughout the night as things go along, as to who's who's in prime position for the championship and the likes. Just check that everything's working. It sounds like it is. So yes, we're here, and we're semi-ready to go. We've got a few people obviously a little bit late. The update came out today for Gran Turismo, so we're a little bit late, and a few people just getting home from work, installing the update, and hopefully going to get things going very, very quickly. See in the comments already, we've got Lee Dennington already tuning in and watching live, saying an evening to myself and to Kim. Kim's saying hello in the background. I will forewarn everyone, it's not just Kim here in the background tonight. Things changed, and I've taken a little bit of a back seat since midweek at ESR. Well, I've been sorting a few issues out, but as it turns out, it's good issues. It's good issues, and it's turning into a very good issue. But we've got Kim in the background, and we actually have my son Dylan. He's only 14, and who knows, we might be able to get him commentating racing along the time. I'm getting a smirk and a laugh, so maybe not, but we'll see how things go. He's shown a little bit of interest, so who knows, maybe an extra hand at ESR down the line. But let's get back to business for tonight, and we're here at the Fuji GT Speedway tonight. The GT meaning that we're not using the chicane down at turn number 10, which makes it a little bit more of a fast-flowing circuit. I will be honest, the chicane really does slow it down at that bottom corner. Yeah, Dunlop will be just the single turn 10 tonight, rather than the triple turn chicane. Very, very tricky little area, but Dunlop as a single corner does make the track a little bit more demanding, because there's different entrance lines and braking zones you can take, but the Gran Turismo game will punish you very, very quickly and quite harshly as well, if you decide just to take that little bit too much curb around there. I believe it's actually as one of the daily races as well this week, or was it last week? But yeah, very, very harsh on the curb penalties there. So yeah, as I said, we've got the final round this evening, and the championship is still wide open. There is yes, Kim, you are watching me and I'm watching you. The championship is wide open. There is 10 points in it between Lee Dennington and Mark Littlejohn. I do feel that the driver we're watching currently at the moment, KB, that he done a fantastic job last week and wiped the slate with everyone. So who knows, if KB had been in from the start of the season, things might have been a little bit closer. And we also had Gareth Morris miss a round as well, which kind of took him out of the championship contention, unfortunately. But we'll see how things go, and as I say, I'll try and keep you guys up to date as things go along. Dennington, you shared the stream to MVP Racing, and hello Dylan. Idle 4 Gaming, evening Nick and Kim, evening, and thank you very much Lee. I believe Kim's got her hands in soapy water at the moment. I think she'll try and get it shared in a bit around other areas. Yeah, Lee, thank you very much for sharing it on MVP. I've said it many times before, I'm not a fantastic top-end commentator. I just try and do my best as we go along, and that's all I ever ask of anyone who tries to do commentary. Enjoy it, enjoy the commentary that you do, make it your own, and yeah, have fun with it along the way. We're about 4 minutes away, hopefully, all being shared around, so hopefully we'll get a few more people in the live stream. But yeah, well, where was I? I'm completely all over the place. I'll go back to the championship standings. It's 10 points between Dennington and Littlejohn. It's 138 points to lead Dennington. Mark Littlejohn on 128. Third place is Gareth Morris on 98. Unfortunately, that round costing him a fair bit, and certainly cost him a shot at the title. Rasmus Omren in fourth place on 81 points, and barring a bit of a miracle, should have fourth place wrapped up for himself in the championship. Hello to Dylan as well, from Darren as well. He's old and forgetful, apparently. So yes, Darren Baldwin is currently sat in fifth place in the championship on 70 points, and again pretty much got him wrapped up. Got that position wrapped up beautifully. Sixth place, joint sixth place actually, is Andy White and Adam Dyke. I'm not sure if we've got either of the guys in at the moment. Let's see if we can find out. Let's pop out to the lobby a second. And yes, as I say that, I can see Adam Dyke there. Adam 93 is in the lobby, so he'll be taking part tonight. Not so sure about Andy White, unfortunately. He's missed the last couple of rounds, so Adam looking like he might be taking the advantage in that battle there. Stu Shelton, who I'm seeing has had a few connection issues, has popped out and rejoined. Hopefully he gets those sorted before we start tonight, and he can get himself underway and racing. Let's see if we can spot him on the track, see if we can give him a heads up if he's just popped back out the lobby again. So Shelton on 45 points, so he's got a chance of overtaking White and possibly Adam Dyke, depending on positions finished tonight. Craig Thomas in the Cat livery Porsche is next up. He's on 43 points. He's sat in 9th place, and he's certainly got 9th place secure. No one beneath him tonight can overtake him, barring a victory and Craig not finishing. So as long as Craig finishes the race tonight, 9th place is certainly his. Then 10th place we have Adam Morgan, who again I'm not sure, is he here in said lobby? It doesn't look like it at the moment, unfortunately, but he's on 28 points in 10th place. Next up is Brian Moncani on 24, and it gets very, very close here from 10th downwards. These are guys that might have missed a round or two along the lines, but Moncani is in 11th place on 24 points. We know earlier on the season he was actually racing in place of Stu Shelton, and actually scoring points for Stu after he had his operation. Next up is Brucey Collins, who I don't think will be racing tonight. Unfortunately, he's in a bit of pain as well. A lot of injuries coming through at the moment, but 23 points for Brucey Collins. Next up is KB after his fantastic round last week, also on 23 points. Lee Fitzy, unfortunately missing tonight again. He's got a few issues. He's got X-rays due for tomorrow. Then Nuno George, William Lane, Andrew Osler and Chris Wheatley. I can actually see Nuno George saying good luck to everyone tonight, so it looks like we might be missing Nuno George tonight, unfortunately. But 11 drivers all in the lobby, and qualifying is about to start. We have just 1 second and it gets underway now. So we have the short qualifying session for just the 5 minutes. The guys will probably get 2 laps in. A couple of them might only get the one in, but we'll see how things go. As they go round on their out laps, obviously not a lot going on, just just the tyre and brake warming that you would imagine going on. So while that carries on, did I see someone pinging around at the back there? Maybe not. Maybe it was just a bit of lighting. But yes, as they go around on the outlaps and get everything together at the start of every. We really are pinging around a little bit. Let's see if we can get whoever got out first. That was Lee Dennington. As they warm their tyres up, warm the brakes up on the outlaps on the early side of things. I'll just remind you that obviously the race is an hour long, and it's done by time. So once the hour's up, that's it. As soon as you cross the line, that's the end of the race. Even if the leader gets across, second place comes across at an hour and 1 second or 1/10 of a second, that's it. That's his chance gone at winning the race. The tyres available tonight are the medium compound and hard compound of tyre, and both these tyres have got to be used for the hard tyre has got to be used for a minimum of 5 laps. Lee Dennington there being a bit sneaky at the last corner at Panasonic, dropping down into second place, making sure he gets the slipstream off of title rival Little John as they come across the line now, with KB also in close contention. It's a mini race already in qualifying here, but the long straight here at Fuji is so important you get some sort of slipstream. You can see them all in the background, all grabbing slipstream as they go along. Unfortunately, we have lost Shelton from the room. Looks like his glitching might be just causing him a little bit too many issues in the first instance. So Moncani is also into the pits, getting rid of the hard tyres that he's going to start the race on, and changing to a set of the mediums for a quick lap. As I would say that most drivers, if not all drivers, well, no, Brian won't, obviously, but I think it was Moncani. I could be wrong. It might have been Omran who's been into the pit. But most drivers will get 2 laps of qualifying in at this time. But we might only have some of them. Omran certainly will only get the 1 flying lap. Through we come at Dunlop now, up to the corner known as 11th or 13th, depending on the track layout, and then round to nets. Now, tricky little double apex corner, known as turns 12 and 13, and then turn 14, the famous Panasonic corner, leading on to the even more famous long straight here at Fuji. The start-finish line roughly halfway down the straight here, so Little John and KB going to get a fantastic slipstream off Dennington down towards the start-finish line. And where Dennington got that slipstream in the first place, you can see it counted for an awful lot. Little John there making the move out of the slipstream into the first corner, funnily enough known as first. And now Little John's going to have had that slipstream right the way down that main straight, and it would have had the greatest speed going into the first corner. So this will be Little John's chance to overtake Dennington, but they cannot forget that KB is there. He had a fantastic double slipstream, but didn't get in front of Dennington, and that could be costly for him around this lap. We see Moncani's coming to the pits. That could scupper any chance of a decent qualifying lap for Moncani, unfortunately. Might even put him at the rear of the field. I do apologise for all the yawning. My alarm went off at 4:15 this morning, so I'll try to keep it to a minimum and try not to disturb you too much. I've actually just noticed that it was actually Little John's gone down into 4th place, because it's new boy tonight, Mr. White, Noah White, has actually jumped up into 3rd place. So this could be a very interesting little battle for pole position. They come round Dunlop now for, I'm gonna say the final time, because we've only got 10 seconds left of qualifying, and they're just a little bit too far away to get to the line, I think. Now the time's up, and just it looks like Mark Littlejohn crossed the line just about on the 0 mark, right on the buzzer, and sure enough, he gets pole position by 0.3 of a second at the minute. Dennington in 2nd place. 3rd is KB at the moment. Darren Baldwin has just put in a storming lap up into 3rd place. A lovely slipstream there from William Lane at the end of the lap to grab that slipstream and put himself up into 3rd. KB in 4th, Wright in 5th, Omron in 6th, Moncani in 7th, Thomas in 8th, Dyke in 9th, and Lane in 10th. I did see that Stu Shelton popped back into the room. I don't know, we might have some replay or some reset to see if we can get him onto the grid at the end, as Moncani comes across the line now, setting his qualifying time, and that is the end of qualifying. I don't know if we'll have to reset for Stu or what, but we'll keep an eye on the chat as well and see if anything comes up from Darren. But no, Shelton hasn't appeared on the grid, unfortunately, so we'll have to see if there is a reset to get Shelton on the grid and give him a chance at fighting for any positions tonight. The lights are coming on. We still haven't had any message, so we've got the 5 lights and they go out now, and away we go. Bit of wheel spin there from Omram there in the pink BWT Porsche. Bit of a avoiding action from everyone in front, and there we are. We have the restart called there by Baldwin as everyone pours into the first corner and exits out of the race, so we can get a reset of Little John into the race, and hopefully no further issues for him. Just see if we've got any need. Nice to see nice to see Craig trying to ping in a second place position for him, but we'll see how we go. We've got the change come through there now for the grid to be set by the host, and we'll get this sorted as quickly as we can. I'm sure Darren will shout if he needs any help on positions. But while we just have this come through, I will have a swig of drink and just help someone out putting his phone on charge, because he's going to stick it on charge without a plug in at the moment.
It makes us move all the plugs about when it does all this, so yeah, if you plug that, yeah, you can plug it there actually, that's a good idea.
So we have, it looks like we're getting people in nice and quickly. If we've now lost Noah Wright. Oh, that's lovely. That I'm getting fanned now. We've lost a couple of people by the looks of it. So maybe some sort of issue going around. We know we've had the blue screen issue with GT Sport, and obviously update day. Oh, there we go. We've had an issue fully on the lobby, so we'll pop out and we will have a look at a reset of a lobby. Hopefully no issues on Darren's side. Lobby's gone big. Yeah, so it looks like we had some sort of lobby issue. So we'll see what is to come. We'll jump back out, and just while we wait, see if we can. What should we have a look at? Let's have a look at some of the different car liveries that we have at the moment. So, along with everything else that we have going on. Along with everything else that we have going on, we obviously have the end of the Porsche League tonight. Tomorrow night is the Eldar Sim Racing. Tomorrow night is the Eldar Sim Racing GT Supercar Series, which you can see some of the liveries just here. So we've got the likes of William Lane here in a Dodge Viper. Brian Ross in the Peugeot RCZ, Dean Atkinson in the Mercedes SLS. He's tall. But we also have running at the same time the WTSC series, which is like a super touring league. We also have sorry, someone's being cheeky behind me. We also have the BTCC series that's running at the same time as well on Wednesday nights. And on Monday we have our endurance series, hour and a half endurance series, using the GR3 cars, and it'll all be a bit of fun for anyone who wants to join in. And if you do fancy joining in any of the aforementioned series, get in touch with us. You can message myself, Darren Baldwin, Brian Ross, Andy Hopley, Kim Sargent, or Malcolm Argyle, and we'll try and get you in somewhere. I know we've got the brand new series coming quite soon. I believe it's actually due to launch possibly this Sunday, which is the Eliminator series. The Eliminator races have been very, very popular between seasons on Friday nights. So Malcolm decided, why not? Let's turn it into a full league, which he has done in superb fashion, and we have it coming to you very, very soon. Couple of spots left, and plenty of room for a what's going on here? Plenty of room for a second league if need be. Let's see if we can reconnect to the server and actually get into the lobby for this evening, because for some reason it's not letting me. Join. There we are. I had to reconnect to the server, and hopefully, yeah, here we go. So just a reconnection to the server. Maybe a few issues going around. We all know that we see that sometimes on update day, and they have a few issues along the way, but yeah, we'll get into the lobby now, hopefully, and we shall see what tonight brings with the final round of the Porsche League. I believe we are still having a set lobby. Hopefully this will sort any issues out that Stu Shelton might have had, and hopefully stop any glitches and problems, and we can get underway nice and early and get things underway brilliantly. It looks like KB's coming out of pit lane, driving currently the wrong way up the circuit. Good job the FIA aren't paying much attention today, and he's going to go and have a quick practice start by the looks of it. Yeah, quick practice start. I don't blame him. Gives him a chance to have a learn. Dennington now doing the same. So yeah, Dennington doing the same. So it looks like few practice starts for people, just fine tuning the last little bits. As I say, good job the heads aren't looking at things too much at the moment, with people going the wrong way. As we have Adam Dyke coming around and having a decent practice lap, avoiding everyone doing the practice starts. KB having another go here. A little bit of wheel spin, a little bit of squirmy back end. Moncani now going to join, but KB is insistent on getting this start right for himself, and we'll see what happens very soon. Looks like the grid is currently being set manually by Darren Baldwin, and hopefully he can remember who's in what place. Things are going on behind me. I've got no idea what's actually going on here, but sun's falling over all over the place. He hasn't even had a drink. 7 Up is apparently what does it nowadays. We have good lucks here, and it looks like we could be about to start the final round of the Porsche 911 RSR series here with the Eldar Sim Racing Group, and all looking very, very, yes, sponsored by PJ Park. Yeah, PJ. I can never remember who's sponsoring what. Yes, you are very much right. It is the RSR League, sponsored by Idle 4 Gaming and Idle 4 Gaming and Hopper's Motorsport Vlogs.
That will be given.
Charizard Legend. I was wondering who on earth that is, but this will be the little boy sat behind me. So we have pole position is Mark Littlejohn, second place is Lee Dennington, third place Darren Baldwin, KB in fourth, Wright in fifth, sixth place is Omran, seventh Moncani, eighth is Thomas, ninth is Dyke, 10th is Lane, and Shelton, it looks like glitching already on the grid slightly, but hopefully as the lights go green now, and we'll hopefully see Shelton pull away fine. No, it looks like he's stuck on the grid, unfortunately. Shelton not getting away, but up the front it's Dennington who's had the better start out of everyone, as Baldwin tries to go around the outside of KB into first. Shelton already leaving the room, unfortunately stuck on the grid, but Dennington is the one who takes the lead at the early stage. KB now up alongside Littlejohn. Littlejohn's going to have the inside line here, but Baldwin's going to have a look up the inside, thinks better of it, as Wright tries to go around the outside, running a little bit wide. That could cause some sort of penalty there for him, but it's Dennington who is our early leader here with a 3/10 of a second lead, with Littlejohn in second place. KB now going back up into third place. Wright, who has got away without a penalty for running wide there in turn number 3, is up into fourth place and ahead of Darren Baldwin, who has dropped down to fifth. Behind him is Rasmus Omrun, and then it's a 3-car battle for 7th place, with Moncani now getting the better of Thomas as they go down into Dunlop, and Adam Dyke in very close contention in I was going to say 9th, but it's actually William Lane who's got himself up into 9th very, very quickly there. So it's actually a 4-car battle for 7th place, as they try to bring Rasmus Omran into play as well to make it a 5-car battle and half the grid. Back to the front, and it's Dennington who comes down the start-finish straight for the first time, and he is going to put the first lap in the book and sure enough lead the first lap of the race. Littlejohn in very close contention in the slipstream. Which way will he go? He's going to go to the outside. KB's going to try and follow him along the outside as well, but he's a little bit further back. Dennington late on the brakes, first into first, and he holds first position as well as they come round through turn number 2. It is because there's no actual corner name, and this one is actually called Coca-Cola, and Dennington's run wide. He's slipped out wide a little bit too late and skitty on the brakes, and that's dropped him down from first to third place, unfortunately. And that's put Littlejohn up into first place, KB up into second. Moncani, it looks like Moncani and Thomas have had some sort of collision by the looks of it, and Thomas is out of the race. Moncani looked like he was holding on for Thomas and has slipped back a little bit further at the rear of the field, unfortunately. But as I said, it is Littlejohn who is currently leading the race from KB in second place. Third is now Dennington after that small mistake at Coca-Cola, costing him an awful lot, actually over a second in time it's cost him. But these three now starting to pull away from Noah Wright in fourth place, who's still got Darren Baldwin up behind him and trying everything he can at Panasonic to get up alongside him, and a little bit closer to pick up the slipstream down this huge start-finish straight. Rasmus Omrun with Adam Dyke in close contention, battling for 6th and 7th place, and then William Lane just close enough to pick up a slipstream and pick up pieces if anything goes wrong, and Moncani there in 9th, about half the straight behind after the issues with Thomas, who we have unfortunately lost. Back to the leaders, and it's still Littlejohn, and it's Dennington now who's got himself up ahead of KB. Can we just pick that up just about at the end of the straight? By the looks of it, KB braking very, very early. That almost looked like a strategic move to drop himself back into third place behind Dennington, and maybe save the tyres, save the fuel for a little bit later on in the race. But that looked very, very strategic. So just a quick update wise on the points. Obviously Dennington and Littlejohn both leading a lap each, means that they both pick up a point each, but with Littlejohn having the pole position puts him point ahead of extra point tonight so far, ahead of Dennington, closing that title gap down to just 9 points at the moment. But he's going to need to do a little bit more. Winning the race will be fine, but he needs Dennington to drop back that little bit. 9 points difference would mean Dennington finishing in 5th place tonight, and that will then hand the title to Little John. So we'll have to see how things go. But obviously, still at the moment we have we have Mark Littlejohn in 1st place with a 7/10 of a second lead, opening that gap up just that little bit, and then the slipstream comes back into play along the start finish straight, and Dennington starts to close back up. Dennington in 2nd place with KB in close contention in 3rd. The battle for 4th is continuing to rage on as Baldwin goes up the inside here of 1st, breaks that a little bit later. The rotor's glowing, beautiful shot there, getting the brake disc glowing, and Noah Wright just making a small mistake there in 5th, just catching the curb on the exit of turn number 2, and unsettling the car that little bit. It's claiming a corner cut, but a little bit harsh, I do fear, for right there at turn number 2, picking up a slight penalty. But now Baldwin up into 4th place, and will be pursuing the top 3, seeing if he can close them down at any point. Maybe work his way up and have a say in the title fight. 6th place is now Adam Dyke, who's got himself ahead of 7th place Rasmus Omron, who's falling towards William Lane that little bit. Lane with a 2nd penalty. I would hazard a guess that'll be probably a corner cut or corner wide at turn 3, better known as Coca-Cola. And in 9th place is Moncani, still going well. We know Moncani can save these tyres well. We've seen it in previous races, and we've seen how well he can look after the tyres, not wear them out too much. Maybe a bit of fuel saving in there at the same time. I say he's saving the tyres well, he's very rear end happy there, so maybe not saving the rear tyres too well. But back to the leaders, and the gap's actually extended at the front. It's up to over a second, so he's gained 3/10 of a second in this lap. I can see a battle towards the rear. It's not as close as I thought it was on the long shot, but Little John has got himself out to over a second's lead now from Dennington, actually extending the lead, which will be good, because if he can break the slipstream, it'll put Dennington and KB into more of a battle, and maybe then bring Darren Baldwin into play. And let's not forget that Noah Wright is also very, very close to Baldwin as well. Just that half-second penalty just costing him that little bit, and slipping him to about a second and a half gap back to Baldwin. But these two are only 3 seconds away from KB, so they could very easily, and could quite easily, be brought into the battle if KB and Dennington start to battle a little bit hard, costing each other a bit of time. We've seen it before, and we've seen Baldwin and who was it last week? I can't remember. I think it might have been Omron started to catch the lead trio, and it just pulled them back that little bit for that period of time. So as we come onto the main straight, we'll flick away from the times, and we'll have a look at the leaders and their fuel consumption as well, because the racing mediums are currently bolted to Mark Littlejohn's car, and wearing quite nicely, down to about 5/8 of a tank of fuel at the moment. Dennington roughly about the same, and I'm going to hazard a guess at KB is going to be slightly better off. And sure enough, look at that, almost 1/8 of a tank extra fuel over the 2 leaders. And he stuck with them this whole time. That strategic move that we saw on lap number 2 to take away 2nd place, drop or lose 2nd place, take 3rd, is paying dividends massively for him. Baldwin, roughly the same sort of fuel usage as Little John and Dennington up front, with also the medium tyres bolted to the car. That little bit further back, and it looks like dropping that little bit further back as well, is Noah Wright, newbie tonight. A little bit harder on the fuel, but still doing a fantastic job, given this is his first race of the series. Unfortunately only joining on the final round of the series, but still doing a fantastic job. Adam Dyke there as well, doing some very good fuel saving, actually probably about second best on the fuel save as yet on the grid. 7th place Omron, Omran's usually one who saves a lot of fuel, reduces the tyre wear. He's so far the only person running the hard tyre that I have seen. So he'll be looking at going a bit deeper, but maybe not as deep as we've seen before. He tried to play a fantastic one-stop strategy from memory at Yanguina. Didn't quite come out for him in the end, but still done a fantastic job. As we see a mistake there by Adam Dyke, just losing out, was it on the exit of Panasonic? A common place to lose it, just running that little bit wide, catching the grass, unsettling the car on the AstroTurf, over the curb. Doesn't spin, but picks up some rear damage as well. That'll be costly for him over the course of the race. And losing out to Omran. He's actually made it to pit lane by the looks of it. So Adam Dyke already in pit lane. Maybe a change in strategy, given that he's already done the 5 laps on the medium tyre. Maybe a flick over to the hards now and see how things go. We'll come away from the strategic side and get back to our time gaps, and it's 1.3 seconds now that Littlejohn has got over Lee Dennington in second place. KB still in the shadows and still smelling the exhaust fumes of Dennington in third place, or Dennington in second, KB in third I should say. Fourth place is still Darren Baldwin, and he's lost a bit of time now to KB and Dennington. Maybe now deciding to save that little bit of extra fuel and make things that little bit better for himself later on in the race, but still holding it at around a 3.7 to 4 second lead. As I say that, I put the commentator's curse on him. He spins out of Panasonic, picking up front end damage. Commentator's curse most definitely for Darren there, unfortunately, and spinning out of fourth place, dropping down to fifth. Will he be going straight into pits to get the damage sorted out? Omran now coming up and passing him, sure enough, Baldwin coming straight into pit lane to get the damage sorted out, and a superb marker of half fuel already for him. So that's going to cost him a little bit of time, but maybe he can work with Adam Dyke maybe when he comes out of pit lane and work some strategy to get himself back up there and back fighting for fourth place with Noah Wright. We see Dennington and KB behind, still battling away. I say battling away. I think this is a very, very strategic move by KB here, saving massive amounts of fuel. And I do wonder if Dennington might try something similar, but the last thing Dennington wants to do is obviously move over into the braking zone at turn number 1, and KB then do the same, and then they lose time. I say that they're already losing time to Littlejohn up ahead. So maybe these two are playing a strategic fuel game, and maybe tries to stretch out at least. Well, certainly KB will be over a lap, but maybe Dennington trying to do a lap as well, more on the fuel. With the 2 second lead, it's right on that edge of fuel saving, or right on the edge of picking up the slipstream. There will be a very, very distant tow there for Dennington, and you can see he's gained about 0.3 of a second down the length of that straight, but certainly not as much as he would be hoping for. With KB still there, right behind Dennington, and saving as much fuel as he possibly can. And this is really going to play into KB's hand later on, being able to do one less pit stop. In fourth place we have Noah Wright, and again we have an issue. It looks like out of first and just onto turn number 2. I say first, it's called first. It's the most random corner name ever, and sure enough, just running wide out of first, catching the AstroTurf and spinning the rear of the car round, and costing him a little bit of time there. And it's now put Rasmus Omran now up on the rear bumper of Noah Wright, battling away for fifth. Omran there just quietly picking people away as they make mistakes, and saving fuel brilliantly. And let's not forget, he was on the hard tyre as well. So this is playing very well because the hard tyre is obviously going to be slower. Can we get any information as to... So his best lap time is a 1:37.5, and when we compare that to our leader in Dennington of a 1:35.4, so massive difference on the tyre strategy and the lap times between the tyres. So Omran could be an outside bet here to get himself up and battling with the leaders. I know I've said it before, and I was completely wrong then, but who knows? Omran he's a very strategic and long player on these endurance races of an hour or more, and Omran now in the slipstream. We can see in the background there Lane coming into pit lane as well, deciding to dump the medium tyres, maybe fix a bit of damage that he might have picked up along the way. But Omran not quite taking full advantage of the slipstream there, and just dropping or just staying in 5th place behind Noah Wright. Maybe the tyres not just giving up as much as he had hoped. 6th place now is Brian Moncani after the small issues he had earlier on with collision and something. I completely missed it. I believe though with Craig Thomas, sending Craig Thomas out of the race. 7th we have Adam Dyke still, who's got Darren Baldwin now very close behind. I said those two might end up working together, and sure enough they have come out together on track. Who knows, work their way up together back towards the front end of the field. And Lane, who we saw coming to the pits just now, he's now in and got a set of hard tyres bolted onto that car, so this will be the minimum 5 laps that he must run on the hard tyre. Back to the front, and it's Little John now with a 2.5 second lead out front, saving as much fuel as he possibly can at the front of the field. Yeah, just a small message from someone coming through, but we'll get back to that. Oh, I've just seen we have KB in pit lane. We have KB in pit lane. This is a very strategic move, yeah, very odd considering he was in the better position over the 3 leaders, but deciding to pit early and take on that little bit less fuel by the looks of it, and get out on the hard tyres as early as possible. You're gossiping about me, are you, behind me? Oh, lovely. That's fine. So KB comes out in 5th place. He's got a lead ahead of Brian Moncani and about 3 seconds by the looks of it. Moncani in 6th place. Baldwin still in 7th, who's got himself... Baldwin in 7th place, who's got himself ahead of Adam Dyke now, and pulled away by 2.2 seconds already. So interesting to see already. We'll go to the leaders and see if they decide, with KB having already pitted, are they going to come to pit lane? Are they going to continue and see if they can keep the out strategy KB? Maybe KB trying a long distance undercut. Little John and Dennington both stay out on track, so I would say they're going to go the whole hog and empty their tanks of fuel before going any further. But a 20-second lead over Noah Wright in 3rd place, with Omran still there lurking away just in the slipstream on those hard tyres. Obviously are going to cause a bit of an issue. 19 seconds, just under 19 seconds now. Further back is KB, who I will expect will be there or thereabouts as things come along and the race pans out, but certainly a very strategic move here by KB very early on. We saw one strategic move of dropping back into 3rd place, saving extra fuel, and now another further strategic move by him possibly to pit early and get out of the slipstream oddly and into 5th place. So we'll see if that's the right move as time goes on, and we'll continue down through the field. We've got Brian Moncani in 6th place. 7th place is Baldwin, who is closing up massively and quite quickly on Moncani. Adam Dyke here in 8th place, and Lane still there in 9th, closing the gap up towards Dyke after his first pit stop. back with Lane, and we'll have a look at going on board with Lane for a lap here of the wonderful Fuji circuit. I was hoping to God's end that he wasn't going to pit as we jumped on board, but we come across the start-finish line and down into turn number 1, braking as late as we can. Let's get some telemetry up as well and see how he's doing. But yes, into turn number 1, or first, and this little kink here is known as the second corner, down towards Coca-Cola, turn number 3. Tricky little corner, but you aim to just try and clip the apex, maybe even that little cone marker. Then turns 4 and 5 as one, but it's a double apex corner really, but it's classed as 2 corners. That's known as 100R. Then the hairpin at 6, and then the softer turn on the exit of turn number 7. Down through turn 8 and 9, known as 300R. So we've got 100R, 300R. I'm guessing a little bit of corner name taking from Suzuka. Dunlop is the corner he's just gone through there, and then up to 11th or 13th depending on the layout. Obviously where that's using the GT space circuit without the chicane, that becomes 11th. 12 and 13 can be taken as one. Very, very tricky little couple of corners. 13 known as nets here, and then the long turn 14 Panasonic leading back out onto the start and finish straight. That's another lap in the books for Little John in first place. He now has a 4-second lead over Dennington, so Dennington really going to be trying to save fuel. Little John comes into pit lane, and is Dennington going to follow suit? He does, straight into pit lane at the same time as Little John. So I wonder if Noah Wright will go and try and take a laps lead and a bonus point that goes with it. No, it looks like Wright's heading towards pit lane as well, so it's going to be Omran who could well be taking the lap lead point this time round. He crosses the line now, and sure enough that point goes into the books. The people behind are now disappearing, so it's going to leave me all on my own in the commentary booth, for want of a better word. But we have a look at the 2 guys who were leading the race and will be a net lead of the race, and we've got Little John who has come out in second place on the medium tyres and a full tank of fuel. In third place is Dennington, a full tank of fuel, but again we see the strategical move moving on to the hard tyres by Dennington, and he's actually extended the lead over KB. KB's also on the hard tyres, so that's where the move might not have worked quite so well for KB, but we're up to what are we, 22 minutes into the race already, and KB would have already done the 5-lap minimum on the hard compound tyre, so he'll be able to come in maybe on a strategic move and come in one more stop, stick a set of mediums on, and that's where he'll start gaining the time back over Dennington. Just 5.7 seconds behind at the moment. Our leader currently, and I said he plays the long game, is Rasmus Omran on those hard tyres currently at the moment. 37 and just under 37 and a half minutes left of the race, and he's in first place. I wonder, can he, what are we looking fuel-wise? Oh no, he's going to be doing one more lap, so a lot more fuel saving. He's not quite going to get to half distance, unfortunately, with the amount of fuel left, which would be a shame for him, and it would be a splash and dash towards the end of the race, but certainly played himself into a fantastic position. KB up into 4th place, then we've got Darren Baldwin up into 5th, a great recovery drive, and only 5.3 seconds behind KB at the moment in 4th place. After that spin and the commentator's curse earlier on, causing Baldwin to spin out of Panasonic onto the start and finish straight. Back to the leaders, and Omran is being chased down by Mark Littlejohn there in second place, now down to 1.6 seconds, 1.5 seconds almost. The medium tyres are obviously going to have a major effect and a major impact on Little John closing in and very, very soon overtaking, because Omran's going to be coming into pit lane as as we saw earlier on. But the medium tyres will have that massive effect. And if Mark's very clever here, if Littlejohn's clever, he will just hold back through Panasonic, pick up that bit of slipstream on that first part of the start and finish straight, and that will give him that slingshot, and it could open up that lead that little bit more over Dennington. Sure enough, there he is. We can see him tucking into the slipstream of Omran as Omran pulls out towards the right hand side and heads towards pit lane. Littlejohn slingshots his way back out into first place and across the line to lead yet another lap 15 in the books. But Omran now on pit road. Dennington in second place still. KB in third place. Darren Baldwin in fourth place, done a fantastic recovery drive, but certainly at least one more stop here for Darren as well. Will that have an effect on his final position at the end of the race? Time will tell, but Moncani's now got himself up into fifth place and having a wonderful ding-dong battle with Noah Wright, who's in sixth place and fighting hard. Fantastic to see Noah doing so well in his first race with the Porsche 911, and he's got himself up into fifth. Moncani down into sixth at the moment. Adam Dyke's there in seventh place now, doing a good job, just holding things together nicely. We're not sure, is he on the... Yeah, he's on the hard tyre, and he looks like he's fueled it for a very short stint on hard tyre, so he'll be in this lap. Lane in 8th place, and then we've got Omran in 9th after his first pit stop. So the field a little bit spread out, the top four a little bit further away than everyone else, but everyone else behind from 5th to 10th, very, very close together, it looks like. And time will tell as to what happens strategy-wise. Obviously an 8.8 second lead here for Littlejohn at the front of the field. And he'll be hoping for every possible bit of luck to go his way, and every bit of bad luck to go Dennington's way to actually grab hold of the title here. We can see in the background that Dennington is still there in second place, but he now has KB closing in quite quickly and maybe a little bit happier on the hard tyres. Up next behind KB is Darren Baldwin there in the Idol 4 Gaming liveried Porsche. Fourth place and about 5.5 seconds behind him, behind KB, and then we've got Noah Wright in fifth. Someone has come to pit lane. Who was that going to be? That was going to be Adam Dyke, wasn't it, on the hard tyres, just about clearing his hard tyre stint. Maybe he'll be going for a longer final stint and trying to do the 33 minutes on the next tank of fuel. Sixth place is currently Brian Roncani. Seventh place is Lane, who's now coming under more and more pressure from Omran, who I'm sure will have those medium tyres bolted on. Sure enough, he has. And he'll be looking to go as deep as he can into the race, splash and dash towards the end, and hope and fingers crossed to see where he comes out. And like I say, Adam Dyke in pit lane, full tank of fuel, brand new set of medium tyres, and away he goes, chasing down everyone he possibly can. But the other end of the start and finish straight is our leader, and it's up to 9.6 seconds now. He's just pulling everything away from Dennington, or is Dennington now saving fuel? It's a massive strategy game, and the best way I can put it is a big game of chess. But Dennington in second place with KB yet again towards the rear bumper of Dennington's Porsche, saving fuel, playing a decent strategic game. And I could go out on a limb. I could try and make a prediction here and say that KB will be in roughly at the 20-minute mark. Just get the rest of the fuel topped off to get to the end of the race, another set of medium tyres, and then pedal to the metal and try and do something about the lead that Littlejohn has at the front of the field, because at the moment, a 10-second lead. He's well away, and looking at the 20 points for victory and the extra bonuses of the pole and lap led. Obviously, the fastest lap point will come into play as well, and it could be the point that decides the title. But Dennington needs a bit of bad luck for Littlejohn to win the title. But time will tell. We still have 31 minutes left of this race, and anything can happen. We have seen it before. We saw it at Yanguina with Little John putting on the wrong tyres, and it cost him dearly, because he was in control of that race. He was going to win it, and Dennington ended up winning it, and Little John finished third, and that there cost him 5 points, and that would make all the difference tonight, because it would the 5 point swing would put Little John currently 1 point behind Dennington in the battle for the championship, and then obviously the fastest lap point, if that went to Little John, they'd be tied. So that mistake at Yanguina has been very, very costly, unfortunately, for Little John. But time will tell as things go on as to what was better, and who played the strategical game over the season better. Dennington and KB now pulling out a bit more of a gap to Baldwin in 4th place, up to about 6.2 seconds, and then it's anyone's guess for 5th place, as Omran has worked his way up into 5th place from being dead last after his pit stop. He's now up to 5th. Moncani down to 6th. Lane in 7th, and Wright in 8th place. He's dropped backwards as well. What's he currently running tyre-wise? He's running the hard tyre, so maybe struggling a little bit with the lower grip levels of that hard tyre. But what a fantastic battle between these four. I'm going to go down to 3, because Omran now is just pulling away from Moncani, Lane and Wright for the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th, as we see Lane having a look to the inside of Moncani, just unsettling both cars, and Wright saying thank you very much, I'll take that, and shooting himself up into 6th place. Moncani down to 7th and Lane down into 8th, as the cars just unsettled that little bit with the bit of contact there at the hairpin of turns 6 and 7. Back to Dennington and KB, and this is pure strategy. This has to be strategy from these two, whether or not they're mic'd up together and trying to work something to get ahead of Little John. But Little John now with a 10-second lead. KB now deciding now's the time, I'm going to the inside. Dennington's just holding him up that little bit maybe, or is Dennington going to have the switch and save the fuel? They come down towards Coca-Cola, and they're still side by side through turn 3 at Coca-Cola, and KB's now going to have the inside line of 4 and 5, or 100R as it's better known, and sure enough, he is up into 2nd. He's decided now's the time to go, now's the time to push. He's on the hard tyre, he's getting rid of that, and he's now going to push forward and try and do something about the 12-second gap that is ahead to Little John. But Little John still has to run that hard tyre. Let us not forget this, as these two, KB and Dennington, have already run it. Baldwin 4 seconds back now, also still on the medium tyres, going as far as he can in the race right now, but he'll still have to run the harder tyres, and that could just drop him back from the battle for the podium. Obviously at the minute, any major mistakes by KB or Dennington, and Baldwin's going to be there to eat up and take advantage of the mistake. 5th place is Omran, and he's pulled a 2-second gap out already to Wright in 6th place, who's got a nearly 4-second gap to Lane in 7th place, who's got himself ahead of Moncani in 8th, and Adam Dyke there in 9th after making his 2nd pit stop. Back to I was pinging around, and we've got Darren Baldwin in pit lane, as the team and crew wait. It probably only would have got one more lap in maybe, so 27 minutes, tank of fuel. It's doable. It might need to be a bit of fuel strategy in play, but Darren could well be looking at the final pit stop of the night here for himself, and try and work his way back up after the early unfortunate mistake. And he's joined in pit lane as well by Lane and Moncani as well. Lane will be glad to see the back of those hard tyres, I'm sure of it. But we shall see what strategy he decides to play. We go back to Little John at the front, who's still got that 12-second lead. Hasn't actually managed to extend it this time round, so maybe KB a little bit happier on those hard tyres over the medium tyres of Little John. But sure enough, that gap hasn't increased as much as it was earlier. So KB certainly has decided now is the time. Sideways there out of Net's corner, and definitely pushing as hard as he possibly can, and that gap is definitely coming down. He's pulled out a 1.2 second lead over Dennington as well. Dennington will pick up the slipstream down the start and finish straight, but KB has certainly decided I'm going, and is, as others would say, hammer time, pedal to the metal. But yeah, he's been unleashed, and is well away, already down to a 11.7 second lead. So he's taken over 0.3 of a second out of Little John's advantage in the early stages. Fantastic to see, and how he does it I will never know. Certainly keeping fuel saved and the tyres in decent condition. Some fantastic driving from KB, and for those who want to learn about tyre saving and fuel management, certainly grab hold of the replay that will be shared at the end of the race, and watch from KB's perspective, because this will certainly teach you a thing or two about fuel saving, tyre management, and strategy, dare I say it, because this is looking fantastic from KB, and certainly bringing him back into play massively for race victory. Behind is the battle for 4th and 5th, as Omran and Wright continue to do battle. A little bit further back is Wright now, but still around that 1 second mark. 6th place is Baldwin after his pit stop. I wonder if he'll try and go to the end of the race after everything, but he's 12.8 seconds back from Wright. Then we've got Adam Dyke, who has been into pit lane already twice. I'd imagine he's got one more trip to go to get to the end of the race. And then Lane and Moncani bringing up the rear of the field. Let's go back and stay with Little John as he continues to push, but now down to just an 11-second lead over the fast charging KB. Little John, medium tyres. I wonder if there's anything that he might be able to do over KB later on, when the tyre strategy switches around. KB will be on the medium tyres, Little John will be on the hards. But we'll see as time ticks on. We've got 23.5 minutes left to go in this race. We're already up to 23, nearly 24 laps, as well, 23 laps in the book already, and it's still anyone's guess. I shall be back in a second while I grab a drink. And we are back and ready to see the end of the race through. We've got 22.5 minutes to go, and KB is extending the advantage. I say that as it closes up, but we're in the braking zone. He's extending the advantage. He's got now over Denning to 2.4 seconds. So Dennington just dropping back now, maybe a little bit unhappier on the hard tyres, but KB's certainly doing a great job, and he's closed down. It's hard to tell. It seems to be pinging around the 10.5 to 11 second mark between himself and Little John at the front of the field. But now Little John will be coming up towards one of the back markers there. That's Moncani, and that will give him a bit of an advantage as well, because he'll start picking up the slipstream down the start and finish straight now. If he can get close enough through nets now, yeah, sure enough, he'll be picking up a slipstream, even though the game and the settings are set to ghost out the lapped cars. As we can see that Moncani is currently ghost because he's got the blue flag. There's still that slipstream effect that gets picked up. So he'll be picking up the slipstream as he comes down the start and finish straight here at Fuji yet again from Moncani, and he's probably far enough away that he might actually pick up a second dose of slipstream along the way as well on the next lap, and that might just help keep that gap to KB. It's down to about 10.5 seconds now as KB hits the brakes for first, and then into turn number 2 we see the time gap expand that little bit, but it now settles around 10.2 seconds, so certainly the time is being eaten away. So let's see if we can have a look. The tyres wearing fairly evenly for Little John. He's actually got himself ahead of Moncani now already, so no extra slipstream effect down the start finish straight second time round. KB looking like he'll be into pit lane at the end of this lap, and that will be, I said 20 minutes earlier on, didn't I? He's just split the hour into 20-minute sections, so he's done a 20-minute stint on the hard tyre, which will certainly see him through the minimum 5 laps that he's got to do. Dennington has also completed that for certain. So will Little John be heading to pit lane? Let's get back to him as he comes out of Panasonic, very, very sideways and skitty as he applies the throttle, but certainly staying out on the track. KB now comes out of Panasonic, heads towards the right hand side of the track, and certainly the designated line for pit lane. Nice and early. Dennington sweeps towards. Is Dennington coming into the pits as well? No, just trying to pick up that little bit of slipstream that he might be able to get off of KB. But this could be the moment that the race is won or lost. Any major mistake here in pit lane, any wheel nut dropping or something like that, the tyres are changed now, and it looks like everyone's done nice and quickly. The fuel goes on. How much fuel is KB putting in there? How much is he going to allow himself to attack Dennington and Little John towards the end of the race? The fuel is on for a while. The green lights go out on the door, and he's away. And it's not a full tank of fuel. It's not a full tank at all. Out of the 100 mark, it's only a 70 mark on the fuel. KB has rolled the dice now, and he is 42 seconds back. He's come out in front of Omran as well. It's about a second ahead of Omran there in 4th place, who I would imagine will be looking at splash and dash to finish this race. Darren Baldwin in 5th place still at the moment, 13 seconds behind Omran, so that will become 4th when Omran has to do his splash and dash. If he has to do the splash and dash, I'm saying he will. He might have fuel saved like a master and actually managed to grab a place ahead of Baldwin. 6th is Noah Wright, and a fantastic showing for him in his first race of the series. Adam Dyke there in 7th place, doing a fantastic job holding off William Lane there in 8th, and Moncani bringing up the rear of the field as we see Dennington hitting pit lane in the background. Moncani bringing up the rear of the field after the early excursion with Craig Thomas as well, but things going very, very well so far for, I'm going to say, KB. Little John's doing a fantastic job out front, but Dennington now in pit lane, getting rid of those hard tyres. The medium tyres going on now, and the fuel attached now. How much fuel will he put in? We know KB only put a mark up to 70, but KB has got himself back in front of Dennington already. He's past pit exit as well, and Dennington still hasn't moved yet. So this is really played into KB's hands brilliantly, and a fantastic first stint. Full tank of fuel for Dennington, so it'll be fuel mixture 1 right to the end of this race, I reckon, for Dennington. See if he can do anything about KB, and who knows, Little John as time ticks on. Little John now with a near 41 second lead that is being eaten away at. We've seen just since I've been looking, it's up to 41. It's down to 40.8. Little John still does have to make his pit stop. He's over pit line now, so this is the stop. 16 minutes or 16 and a half minutes to go. There'll be about 16 minutes by the time he comes out of pit lane, but he is now putting on the hard tyres. It will cost him that bit of time to KB lap by lap. It's roughly a second to a second and a half, I reckon, the difference. The fuel's attached. How much fuel will he put in? This could be another killer. We go to KB, who's coming out of Panasonic now. He comes down the start and finish straight. And Little John still he's now away from his pit box. A little bit of extra fuel over at KB, using those 12 seconds that he did have to put a little bit extra fuel, giving him that little bit of advantage to up the fuel mixture, maybe that little bit extra. But Little John now out and down towards Coca-Cola as KB comes out of turn number 2, and it's a 10-second lead, so it's roughly where they were at pit stop. I'd say KB's maybe gained about half a second over the couple of laps that he's had. He's certainly pulled out a big advantage over Omron. Hang on a minute, I'm sure Omron was behind Little John. Not Little John, was behind Dennington when Dennington came out of the pits. I'm sure he had a second lead over him. So has Dennington made a small mistake? This could start turning things into Little John's favour in the championship battle. Dennington now into 4th place. Okay, he's half a second behind Omron, and we know Omron will have to be fuel saving to get to the end of the race or doing a splash and dash. But how much will Dennington be able to push on? They come to turn 11, also known as 11th, and then turn 12, and next turn 13. And Dennington's all over the place, trying to get it up the inside of Omron. The back of the car slipping and sliding, just trying to break away. But he has the move done now as they come round into the middle of Panasonic corner, back down the start finish straight, and Dennington is now up into 3rd place again. Getting the move done on Omron, but let's jump on board with Omron as they go down the start and finish straight, back in the slipstream. Will he have a think about attacking Dennington in the braking zone down into 1st? They come down to the braking zone around about now. The brakes go on hard, and Omron's just too far back to do anything about Dennington. Obviously the tyres and the fuel having a bit of a say in that one as well. But we go back to the battle for the lead, and it's down to 8.6 seconds already. This gap is reducing very, very quickly. The difference in the tyres is massive. If it's been one lap, and we're looking at 2 seconds, 8 seconds within 4 laps, KB's going to be up with Little John. KB currently with a best time of a 135.1 last lap, and Little John with a 133.5. So big difference in lap times, admittedly, but the gap's coming down so quickly. It's unreal. It really is. It's down under 8 seconds already. They come down the start and finish straight again. KB is reeling Little John in massively, even though he took on less fuel for a longer period of time. KB on the medium compound tyres has the advantage over Little John. Little John manages to pull out a slight advantage down the start and finish straight, burning more fuel with a higher fuel mixture. But he suffers around this section and the twisty section at sector 3, and that's where KB seems to be making most of his time over Little John. So this race is far from over, even with just 12 minutes to go of the hour. Dennington looking fairly settled now for 3rd place. He's opened up a 4-second lead to Omron there in 4th place, after a small mistake costing him earlier on. 5th place is Darren Baldwin. How is Darren looking fuel-wise? I'd say Darren's probably looking good to the end of the race. Omron possibly going to have to pit, I would imagine. Yeah, but he'll be pitting before the end of the race for a splash and dash. So Baldwin looking very good for 4th place at this current time. He's got 15.8 second lead over Noah Wright, and I've kept saying it, but fantastic show from Noah. a fantastic showing from Noah in the first round and unfortunate final round of the series for him, and who knows, we might see him back for the new series, which I will give more information about at the end of this race. 7th place, and we've just caught him having a moment and deciding to go backwards around the circuit, coming out of first, just catching that AstroTurf. That is an absolute killer of a section there, and it certainly catches you out very, very quickly. You can come round, just run out wide from turn number 1 and turn 2, and the AstroTurf, seems to have a groove between the curb and the AstroTurf, and that just seems to be enough to spin people around very, very quickly. So it's now actually Adam Dyke up into 7th place. He's got 2.3 second lead over Lane in 8th place, and Moncani there after his little off-track excursion in 9th, and just 2.6 seconds back from Lane as he comes belting through Dunlop as quickly as he dares. Back to the leader, and it's 7.2 seconds, so the time gap's just slowed down that little bit as the chase has been on. So we've only seen about 0.6 of a second taken out of Little John now. Maybe Little John decided to just increase that fuel mixture just that little bit more, eke out that advantage that he might have over KB towards the end of the race. But we're now almost at a point where KB needs to be closing in. They're within the same shot there of Panasonic, but we've got 6.7 seconds between the two of them and 9.5 minutes to go in the race. So we're looking at about 3/4 of a second that KB needs to be taking out of Little John for victory here, or to be able to push for victory. I say that they go down the start finish straight, and it's up to about 7 seconds. So just under a second a minute that KB now needs to be closing in on Little John to have a go. He's not going to want to be doing it on the last lap coming out of Panasonic and as a drag race down to start finish line. As I'm talking, we see Omran now in pit lane. That's promoted Baldwin up into 4th place. But going back to KB, he's not going to want to do the drag race out of Panasonic on the last lap. He's going to want to be able to overtake Little John if he gets a chance. He's going to want to overtake Little John through this little section here where he can eke out a bit of an advantage, because Little John certainly, without even looking, we know Little John's going to have a slightly better fuel mix. We can see he's quicker down the straight as well, and it gives him that advantage. There's a spinner ahead by the looks of it, someone pirouetting. Is that Moncani pirouetting? I believe so, at next corner, and having a bit of a struggle time to get back on track by the looks of it. Lane now up into 7th place, and still 2.3 seconds back from Adam Dyke in 7th place. 6th is the now hard charging, hard pushing Rasmus Omran after his splash and dash. New set of tyres on board as well, I would imagine. Yeah, racing mediums on, splash and dash, and see what he can recover now from 6th place. Only 5.7 seconds back from Noah Wright in 5th place, and it's just seems to be getting slightly better for him as the race has gone on. 4th place is now Darren Baldwin, and barring any mistake, and last time I said that there was a mistake, barring any mistake, Darren Baldwin there looks to have 4th place wrapped up for himself. Dennington still in 3rd place and pretty much settled on 3rd. That would be enough for him to take the title as well, so maybe Dennington just deciding, I don't have to push it, don't have to make a mistake, it could cost me the title. So 7.3 seconds back from KB in 2nd place, who's got the gap down further. It's 5.7 seconds with 7 minutes remaining. Anyone want to take a guess in the chat now? Who is going to win the race? We've had Kale Dragon, or as I know him, Casper Brockner, showing his support earlier on for Rasmus Omran. Unfortunately, I don't think Rasmus is going to get up towards the front of the field, but certainly going to be in a battle for. I'm going to go out on a limb and say 5th place. A little bit, might be a little bit too much to catch Darren in 4th, but certainly a battle for 5th. Come on, boss man. Oh, sorry, awesome comms, boss man. Thank you very much, Craig. I don't know if you're still watching. I hope you may be, but thank you very much. I try my best. That's all we can ever do is try our best as things go along. But getting back to the battle, we've got just 5 minutes 50 seconds left, and it's under 5 seconds. So we're looking at what? Try and work it out really quickly. We're looking at about 7/10 of a second, 8/10 of a second that KB needs to be taking out of Little John now, and he's certainly getting closer. We can just see KB there in the background as Little John comes round turn 8 and 9 300R. We could just see KB exiting the hairpin at turn 6, and again here we see just catching glimpses of KB in the background of the camera angles, and I don't know if Little John's listening, but it just eats away. It puts that little bit of pressure on. We've got 2 back markers not far ahead as well. That will help Little John down the start and finish straight. Just give him that little bit of an extra edge. We can see here, if we take a note now of a 4.35 second lead, so 4.35, they're both on the start and finish straight, and you can see that time eking out. So the start and finish straight is where Little John has the advantage. He's got the better fuel mix, so he's burning that bit more fuel where he has it. From 4.3 seconds it's out to nearly 4.6 seconds, so almost a 3/10 of a second gain that he's taking out of KB, just purely down that start and finish straight. But then in the braking zone, KB closes up because he's got the better tyres. He's on those medium compound tyres, and that's allowing him to brake that little bit later, turn in that little bit quicker and harder. And it's already now down to 4 seconds as there's 4 minutes to go. The gap's not quite coming down quick enough, but it is coming down. It could be very touch and go as to who's going to win this race. Maybe KB's just left this one a little bit too late. Dennington certainly got 3rd place wrapped up. I hope I haven't put the commentator's curse on it, but Dennington with 3rd place will wrap up the title there with 3rd place as well. Baldwin there in 4th place, 10.8 second gap to Noah Wright in 5th place, who's got a 2.8 second gap to Omran, who's closing in very quickly. Full tank of, or not quite a full tank of fuel, but certainly a new set of medium tyres, fuel mixture 1, and he'll be gunning for 5th place as best he can. Doesn't have to, because he's got the position wrapped up for 4th, but would 5th place do anything to help him? 5th place, not quite, unfortunately. It won't quite be enough to take 3rd place in the standings away from Gareth Morris. So Morris will have 3rd place wrapped up, despite not actually managing to make tonight's race. We go back to the battle for the lead with 2 minutes 40 seconds left, and it's under the 4 second mark. It's not quick enough. It's not going to be enough. KB's left it too late, and I'm looking at the gap. It's just starting to grow that little bit again, and I just wonder if KB's gone, I've blown it. It just seems to have been just that little bit too late, the attack, and deciding to make the move on Dennington earlier on in the race. He's certainly closer, but the gap is just not coming down quick enough. Have the tyres even themselves out? The hard tyre with hardly any wear, and yeah, a fair bit of wear there for KB. They're not past it, certainly, but with just 2 minutes to go, and given the length of the lap, just 2 laps to go now. They'll once they cross the line, what was the lap times we're looking at? About 1 minute 35. It might just... No, this will be... This is the end of the penultimate lap, because he crosses the line now. The average lap time of a 1 minute 35 crosses the line, and it's 1 minute 30 left. So this is the last lap. So it has been too much of a task for KB. Even if it's tight on time for Littlejohn, he's got about a 3-second advantage at the moment, and KB's not going to get across the line certainly to start another lap. So this is the last lap. This is KB's last chance, and as long as Littlejohn keeps it pointing in the right direction, he is going to take victory. But it's a sour victory, because it'll be victory, but he won't quite get the title, and it would just be just too much, unfortunately. So victory for Littlejohn will certainly take him up to 150 points. The fastest lap point is still to be awarded, admittedly, but KB has just left it just that little bit too long. Maybe I'm going to say 2 laps too long, unfortunately, sitting behind Littlejohn, and what a shame. Battle for 5th place is still going on, and we've got Wright and Omron will pick that up in a second. We will certainly bang back to it, because Littlejohn is now coming across the line down the start and finish straight. He cuts across the line now, eases off that little bit to make sure this is the last lap. He takes victory in the race. KB easing right off Dennington. He's actually going to get 2nd place by the looks of it as they come across the line. KB, giving Dennington 2nd place, KB in 3rd, 4th will be Baldwin, but the battle for 5th continues to rage on as they come through Net's corner now, and it's Wright who's just about got the edge over Omron now. They come up towards Panasonic, Wright taking the tighter line, but Omron will try and get the slingshot out of Panasonic down the start and finish straight, pick up the slipstream. Anyone's guess as to who's going to pick up 5th place. At the moment we have Wright, and it's going to be a very, very tight finish towards the line now, and it's Wright who takes 5th place, just about 800ths of a second ahead of Omron in 6th place. The battle for 7th continues to rage on as they come through Dunlop, and it's Dyke and Lane having a look up the inside of 11th turn, and takes 7th place at the moment. Moncani has finished a lap further down, but Moncani currently has Lane currently has 7th place as they come now through the final corner of the final race of the season, and Lane just about having an advantage, but Dyke will be picking up the slipstream up towards the start finish line as Dyke does everything he possibly can. He's in the slipstream, he pulls out now, and they're going to finish side by side, these two, across the start and finish line, and it's Lane just about. They can't even separate them on the timer, and there we are, 12 hundredths of a second between the two of them in the battle for 7th and 8th. A great end to the season, and great to see Littlejohn taking victory and pole position there with the final race of the season. But sure enough, he takes victory, but it's Dennington in 2nd place who will take the championship as well. We'll have a quick look. It was Omron who got the extra fastest lap bonus point, but Dennington finishing in 2nd place, taking the 17 points. The extra bonus point of 18 makes it 18 as well, and that takes him on to a total of 156, which is 6 points in the end. 6 points between the two of them in the end. We'll go down the whole results for you. Littlejohn in 1st, Dennington in 2nd, KB in 3rd, Darren Baldwin in 4th. It was Noah Wright in 5th place. Fantastic first showing from him. 6th place was Rasmus Omron. William Lane in 7th, Adam Dyke in 8th, Moncani in 9th. Unfortunately, we lost a couple of drivers early on as well with a few issues. We'll get you a few comments in apparently, and many thanks for the commentary. Not a problem at all, Darren. And we've got congratulations from Dylan. I wonder if he actually knows what's gone on. given he's not much of a motorsport phone. A giant race is what he calls it. So some fantastic racing all season long. I did say that I would give some information about the new season at the end of the race, and I can now confirm that the Thursday night league will be back. I believe there's about a 2-week break, but it will be back with the Ferrari 458 GR3 series. So again, it's still a one-make series, still the GR3 cars, but this for the new season it will be the new Ferrari 458 for everyone to thanks Dylan. It will be the new Ferrari 458 to continue things for the new season. Will Dennington be back? Will he be looking to reclaim his title? Will Little John be able to do anything regarding a challenge? Who knows, we might see someone come from further back. Hey, if KB joins, it's anyone's guess as to who could win the title. Little John has shown tonight that he is beatable, and he can strategize him, but time will tell as we will see you shortly. I think it's a 2-week break, but if anyone wants further information, do check out the Eldar Sim Racing Facebook page, or check out the Eldar Sim Racing website. That's Eldar Sim Racing, ELDAR simracing.co.uk. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Discord, I believe, is coming soon, but we're still working on that one. For the time being, if you do want to join, drop one of us a message, mainly Darren Baldwin, because he'll be organising it, and we'll try and get a place on the grid for you for the new season. For now, I hope you've enjoyed the Porsche RSR League. I've been Nick. I've enjoyed it. My first full season of commentary as well. So I've been Nick Sargent for ESR, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.